Solving two-step equations are easy to do. Sometimes you don't actually have to do two steps. So we're going to start with the first two. And I hope this video doesn't take long. So if it does, just watch the whole entire process because this will help you out to understand what to do. First thing, let's put the border. That way this is your left. Okay? This right here is your left. And this is your right side. Make sure that you have no parentheses, no like terms. Okay, that's the first thing you have to check. So on the left, there's no parentheses, no like terms. Why? You have the family X and the single, and then you have on the other side just a single. So you're ready to start crossing this equal, what I call the border. And what I tell you guys to do in order to know, because this is opposite and divide, bubble the one that you're solving for if you see more than two terms on that side. And here is the X, that's the one that you're solving for. So you have to get rid of the plus 8. Remember, you're using the properties of equality. If I see addition, I do subtraction. If I see multiplication, I do division, and vice versa. So those are the opposite. And as you can see, I see that A is adding, so I'm going to take that away because I'm moving it. When you take it away, it's gone. 8 minus 8, that's 0. You bring down your bubble, and that's 1x equals to 17 minus 8. Isn't that 9? Okay, so and that's my answer right here. Now notice on number 2. Number 2, you have the variable on the right side. So again, let's put the border. This is your left here, and this is your right side. Now the variable, it's here. The same thing, you're gonna do the same process, bubble the one that you're solving for. So that means your opposite is the number that is next to a bubble. Look at this one. The opposite was plus 8 because it's next to a bubble, next to the variable you're solving for. So that's your opposite. You do plus 2, and negative 2 plus 2, that gives you 0. It's like saying 2 minus 2. That's 0 right there. Same number, different signs give you 0. You bring down the x, bring down your symbol, equal, and now you do what it says here. 15 plus 2, that's 17. Okay, and that's my answer. X equals 17, or you can say 17 equals x. Okay, that means that the number missing here is just 17. Let's move on. Now, you might have only one step. Notice here is the variable that you're solving for. And remember, the plus and the minus separates the term. That means that these two are two different things. This is x and this is 8. But in here with the 2 and x, there is nothing in between. There's not a plus, there's not a minus. You count this as just one term. This is one thing right here. What happened when a number and a letter sits together like that? What operation is that? Because you don't see the minus, you don't see the plus, you don't see the minus. You cannot say that it's addition or subtraction. Now, you are able to tell apart from multiplication and division. And I want you to take a look at 2x. I told you this is 2x. We're trying to figure it out what operation is this. But look at the x over 5. The x over 5, remember that bar right here, that's division. So if this is the way division is supposed to look like, then we are to assume this is multiplication. And in reality it is. This is 2 times x. That's what it says. When you do 2 times x, it's the same thing as writing it as 2x. So here we go. The opposite of multiplication, we just said, is division. The vice versa for division will be the opposite of multiplication. So I'm going to divide what is next to the x because the whole idea is that you get the variable alone. So now this is 1. 2 over 2 is 1. So this is x, that's 1x, equals to 10. Remember, 1x is the same thing as writing just x. It's the same thing, okay? And since you already are at the end, you don't need to put 1x. Just write the x. That x is equal to 10. Now, on this one right here, as you can see, this is division. What is the opposite of division? Multiplication. So I'm going to multiply 5, and I multiply 5 here, and I'm going to do it here. Notice that when I divide it under the number. Now I'm multiplying next to it. And remember, the same top and the same bottom turns into a 1. So we're going to cross this out because that's just a 1. And 1 times x is just x. Remember, 1 times x is x. And 8 times 5 is 40. Okay? And here is my answer. Notice that in this one, I didn't put the line to separate my left and right. You can always remember, actually, always remember to just write it down, just to keep you not messing up. Now, the last two that I'm going to do in this example, again, remember what I said, identify what you're solving for, and then all these equations that we're doing, we're solving for x. So what I'm going to do, let's put the border, let's identify what I'm solving for, and as you can see, here's the x value. And notice what I did, I bubbled the whole entire term. The entire term is negative 3x. Then I'm going to get rid of that negative 3x at the end, because this is what we call opposite and divide. Here we go. I do minus 1, minus 1. Cross, put a line so you could start writing the answers. And 1 minus 1, that's 0. So this cancels out. You do 7 minus 1, that's just 6, equals 2. Bring down the bubble because that's what's left on that side. Here we go. A number that sits next to the letter is just multiplication. The opposite is division. So remember, every time you cross that border, is just doing division. In this case, 6 divided by 3 is 2, so that means that x is 2, or 2 equals x, okay? One more time and we're done. So again, put the border, bubble the one that you're solving for. Notice here, 5 is not in the bubble, so that's the one you do the opposite. You do opposite. 5 minus 5, that's 0. You bring down the 3x, and that is equal to 14 minus 5, that is just 9. You divide by 3, you divide by 3, and x is equal to, remember 3 over 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is just 3. So x is 3. And that's it. Rewatch the video if you have to. Remember your properties of equality. And that's what I mean when I say I see, I do opposite. So if I see that it multiplies, I divide it. That way, that's the only way to remove it. If I see that it's dividing, I multiply. If I see that it's adding, I subtract. So notice here, when you don't see the sign in front of the number, that's a positive number, you have to do minus. When you see the minus, like in this one, you do plus.